Hey, family. Welcome
Hey,
to Sacred Ashram Ministries, where spirit meets sanctuary. And damn. Welcome to Sacred Ashram Ministries, where spirit meets sanctuary, and come with us and explore divine wisdom and sacred ritual and spiritual empowerment. I'm your host, Righteous, and today's guest is Olathe Tayen, and she's with sound therapy, or she specializes in sound therapy. And we're going to discuss a few unique topics, not too unique, but things that are pretty frequently explored within our community. Something that we both have some experience in. So just give us a little introduction about yourself, Olathe.
thank you for having me, Righteous. Hi, I'm happy to be here. And yeah, I'm just here to share some of my experiences and pretty much here to learn as well. You on mute. You on, oh, there you
Okay.
go.
So sorry about that,
That's okay.
but go ahead.
Okay, so no, I just said I'm happy to be here. And I'm basically just here to share some of my experiences and also learn from you with the various experiences you have and things that you have to share with me and the audience.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, well, this being our first live, um, it's quite unscripted, so bear with me. Um, but the first thing I wanted to discuss was plant medicine. In 2019, it was a pivotal time within the spiritual community, especially amongst melanated people. Um, a lot of melanated people in the communities that I interacted with found that uh, an explosive awakening taking place. A lot of us started getting into new things and venturing out of Christianity. And I was just talking to somebody a couple of days ago about the fundamental benefits that came with being brought up in the church. A lot of us were brought up in the Baptist church or as Jehovah's Witnesses, Pentecostal, all kinds of forms of Protestant Christianity. And although we've grown and we've learned, okay, some things were simply not true that we were taught. Some things contradicted our natural spiritual position within nature and life and our traditional beliefs. They taught us that those things were evil, but aside from all of that, they still did provide us with a basis or some foundational structure from which to build on our spirituality, which is actually causing us to ascend. And so all things happen for a reason and for a divine purpose. Um, what I want to ask you, Olathe, is how has your background affected who you are today? I know you have some experience with the church. You want to go into that and give us a little bit of what your experience has been like?
So, my experience has taken me down several different avenues. Um, I was raised predominantly in the Baptist church. However, I had a mother who was a seeker. But at that time, I didn't know she was a seeker. I did not figure that out until later on in my development. So one thing my mother did was I remember being taken to the Jehovah Witness Church. I remember going to the Catholic Church when I was a child. I also remember visiting various Baptist churches, but the thing about Baptist churches within our community, each one operates differently depending on what Baptist church that you're at. So my experience with the Baptist church was I didn't really understand what I was doing there. It felt like it was just something that I was brought into, and I never really understood why I was there. It seemed very routine, and it was a routine that I seen happen day in and day out, weekly, but no change within my family, right? So I would notice how we always went to church, we always did things a certain way or like a ritualistic in a ritualistic way. And it seemed like they would be all happy and all full of energy on Sunday. But when Monday came, it was back to struggle energy. So for me, I just never seen any growth. That's where I was getting to.
I can definitely relate to that. I had a very similar background, um, and I saw all kinds of things take place in the church. Nobody's perfect, and so I try to keep that in mind when I revisit, okay, the past and what my experience was in the church. Um, the good things, the more beneficial things, like order, discipline, the soulfulness that was provided in the church, um, being able to stay on beat. That was important. We got that from the church. Um,
Following
understanding,
directions,
yes, following directions, um, organization, structure,
definitely
um,
structure,
community, the importance of community, fellowshipping, building
definitely
community.
fellowship.
And like historically, that's the role that the church played. The church played the role in played a strong part of holding melanated communities together. You used to have to get food from the church. The church used to be the school, so you would
I
go
was
to
gonna
church
say,
to go to school.
yeah, yeah,
When they
yeah,
start allowing melanated people to read openly, like without them having to hide, it was the church that taught melanated people in the communities to read.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very powerful. It's been a very powerful symbol for us, and it's done us a lot of good. But like with all things, all things must evolve, and I feel like the pandemic in 2019, 2020, all of that helped us to all start to evolve past that the paradigm that was represented by the church.
I agree.
Hey, family. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, Olathe, yeah, Sunday school was good and bad. You are absolutely right. Food, you can get all your meals from the church, all the meals. What are some memories that you have? Um, what are some church memories you have, Olathe?
I definitely remember 3 o'clock service when we knew we was gonna get some food. I definitely remember the 3 p.m. service. Okay, so if nothing else, you knew when it was a 3 o'clock service, y'all was about to eat some good food. I remember that definitely. Um, yeah, I remember. Um, I really uh, enjoy watching the ushers move around, in formation. I just like how they move. I really, it was something about them ushers. It was like they was the guards in the church to a degree. So
Mm,
I enjoyed that. But the best part of church for me was the choir. Like if I could just
mm.
go to church for the choir, I didn't even the sermon. It was time to go after the choir. Like, yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. The choir was good. Time to go. So for me, if I could just get there to hear the choir, that's all I cared about. But Sunday
Mm.
school was good too. Sunday school was good, and also vacation Bible school. That I always look forward to vacation Bible school because they took us on
Mm.
field trips.
Oh yeah, I used to love Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
And I was just telling somebody, or I was talking about it not too long ago. The cookies and juice. Love the cookies and juice. The Winchell's
Yeah.
donuts.
Hmm.
It was
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, the usher board. I was on the usher board. I was a junior usher. I was in the choir all of my youth,
Hmm.
and
Me too.
all of them. The children's choir,
Yeah.
then the kids choir, the
Youth choir.
teens, then the adult choir. Loved it. Loved those annual days, picking out new robes.
Going to visit the other
Did a lot
churches.
for it did a lot in preparing you for adulthood. And just like I was saying earlier, community, like that sense of community. Watching the mothers in the church, watching the deacons, um, seeing them sit in the front row, seeing the mother sit in the front row with the hats,
Yes.
learning the power of the hats.
Especially on first Sunday. Shoot.
Yes, the hats.
Don't mess with the mother's board.
You can't mess with the mother's board. That was something awesome, and
It
that is
was.
the beauty and the privilege of being able to grow up in that environment. Um, a lot of the kids that's growing up now won't have that. They won't have that to look back on, and
That's
that's
true.
yeah. So that is awesome. So now we're left up to creating new traditions and new things to help to nurture that aspect of our culture, and it's challenging. So we do got to give it to them for providing us with that foundation,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
it's been pivotal. It's been pivotal.
I agree.
Um, but yeah, being in the church, it had its pluses and it definitely had some challenges with it.
Mm.
Um, what are challenges that come to mind for you when you think of your experience in the church?
My biggest challenge was I had questions that could never be answered.
Mm,
Um, so for me, it was what stuck in my mind was, oh, it's mysteries in the Bible. And for me, I'm like, well, what mysteries? You know, but I just had a lot of questions that could never be answered. So that would be what I would say was challenging for me is wanting to know more and feeling like there was more to this, but always being told that, this is basically what it is. That was my challenge.
um, I grew up in a really religious household. Yes, and um, it was kind of interesting. Like it was both religious and violent at the same time. It was, it was a lovely mixture. I guess you can't have one without the other. But one of the things I was told whenever I would ask questions, and I was a very inquisitive person, and I still am, um, I was told repeatedly that you don't question God. You don't you don't question God. And if it does not make sense, lean not on your own understanding.
Right. The mysteries, it's just mysteries.
Yeah, it's mysteries. And if you have a question, you need to study the Bible only to find the answer. And you need to study to show yourself approved unto God. Workmen that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't find the answer, don't question God.
Mm-mm.
Because don't
Yeah.
do that.
No. Don't question it because it's a mystery. That's what they
Yeah, it's
said.
one of the mysteries. And you'll find out.
Mhm.
You'll understand it better by and by.
But just
Okay?
wait on the Lord.
Comes.
Just wait
Yes.
on the Lord.
Wait on the Lord. And I don't want to go too far into that. 'Cause I don't want to offend anybody that might
Right, right, right,
find that
right.
a sensitive topic, but
That's right.
it is all just to say that um, we have been conditioned to accept certain things. And that conditioning I found came out of fear. So I laugh about it now and I make jokes and everything, but it is it is a way of kind of celebrating us coming through a painful era. And it is a wonderful time to be alive when we have access to so much information that allows us to be free,
I agree.
um, and just really delve into our spirituality and seek and find those answers, the answers to those questions freely. And so, one of the things that I have been led towards was the exploration of plant medicines. And what was it that brought me to plant medicines? Wanting to knowing the innate knowing that there are experiences to be had beyond what I had been experiencing, and that there were spiritual experiences that um, many different historians and past leaders and teachers had talked about having, and knowing that there was a way to have them for myself, like knowing that we are all connected. We are all, we all come from the same source. So if we're coming from the same source, of course, there is a way for us all to have similar or connect a connection with regards to experiences. And so wanting to reach my highest self and my highest potential brought me to looking into plant medicines and what the possibilities were with those. So in 2019, I found myself exploring um, different, what is it, uh, psychedelics. There we go. It led me to exploring different psychedelics and all of the things that psychedelics provided. Um, what did Plenty of Gifts say? See those gospel songs along with that God frequency music also sinks into the spirit and the subconscious to make us hypnotized on Christianity. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. There's so many things about the church that keep you hypnotized. And I know I was talking about psychedelics, but I'm gonna go back to this. Um, for example, I went to a church. I grew up in a church called Saint Mark Church on Carpino. And when you get in there, one of the things that is right what, to the right of the pew. So right where the preacher stands is the what is it? It's the church bylaws, or
The
what is it?
covenant,
The
right?
covenant, the church
The
covenant.
church covenant.
Yes, the church covenant. And so just when I look back on all the things, the first Sunday, taking the communion on first Sunday and not even knowing what the communion was really about. Just knowing
Mhm.
that I got baptized. So I get a cracker and juice now with the rest of the grown folks.
Yeah.
Yay.
We in
Okay.
the
Every
club. We
first
part of the
Sunday.
club now. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. The beginning of the club. Yes, Sister Sheba, those old Negro spirituals were very ingrained in the church. Yes, they were. Those old Negro spirituals helped us to stay, they helped us to stay in line. Like a lot of what we practice repetitively helped to keep us locked down into one form of thinking and locked down in so many different ways. It helped to keep us docile, um, helped to keep us from fighting back, helped to keep us nice and calm and just focused on the Lord, and not trying to take up for ourselves or avenge ourselves, and just be pacified and be okay with being beat down. Um, yeah, so the church had its, I guess that would be the downside of being in the church, is the pacification. Yep, spiritual epigenetics. Definitely. Um, but with that being said, the exploration in the psychedelics, um, it was having that as a foundation spiritually, and having that those practices that as you grow you find, okay, these are shackles. Wanting to free yourself and free your mind from those shackles, that is one of the things that led me to psychedelics and exploring plant medicine. And one of the biggest things that I turned to um, in that was ayahuasca, and attending my first ayahuasca retreat in 2019. Um, it's been no turning back ever since. It's been no turning back. It's one of the most powerful decisions I made in 2019. And it took me so many places so fast, um, that I've been extremely thankful and grateful ever since. Um, and the experiences they've been phenomenal. One thing that, out of all the studying that I did on ayahuasca, the side effects, the after effects, the integration practices, um, nothing prepared me for the fact that once you take it, Mother Aya continues to work with you, um, far beyond the actual session. And so it's been very powerful for me, and I'll elaborate a little later. But Olathe, can you give us your anything you want to talk about your experience um, with ayahuasca?
Um, Thank you. My experience with ayahuasca was nothing more than groundbreaking. It was, I too was not prepared. I was not prepared for what I was um, igniting within me, is the best way that I can pronounce it. I wasn't prepared for it. And it's once you walk the path, or you invite this journey into your life, it does become a lifelong journey. There's no uh experience in ayahuasca and saying, okay, I'm done. No, the mother stays with you and walks with you. It's kind of interesting because some of the things that you were taught in church, like the Lord walks with you, is kind of the experience with ayahuasca. She's mother is always with you.
Mother is always with you. That's what, and for those that don't know, ayahuasca is referred to as the mother. That's another name for that particular plant. And the mother can be gentle and the mother can be rough. Um, One of the things that they tell you is before, like, there's a protocol that you need to adhere to before engaging um, with the medicine. And if you are not able to adhere to any, yes, that protocol is called a dieta. That is the correct terminology. And what the dieta does is it helps to prepare you for what the mother is going to do for you. Um, and if you're not able to follow that dieta, the mother will let you know that, hey, you have some things you need to work on, and she will still work on your body and help to get you prepared for whatever information it is that your higher self has hidden deep inside of you. And it is a it is a profound and just amazing experience. um, if someone is looking for what I was looking for, and that's a way to break into the back door of your subconscious mind. There's a lot of work that can be done, of course, to do this naturally without plant medicines, but it does take time and it does take diligence and patience, and it takes consistency and practice, and it definitely takes time. Um, but there is a way to achieve certain heightened levels of awareness without medicine. But with medicine, medicine is a tool that allows one to get to a destination a bit quicker. Um, it's not for everyone, but if you are called to the medicine, then it can be a beautiful and extremely transformational experience.
Agreed.
Um, yeah, and a lot of people are, Sister Sheba, fearful to try any hallucinogens. A lot of times, um, people, it is, like I said, it doesn't work for everyone. Um, But typically, what I've found is that when you are able to adhere to protocols and prepare your body properly, um, it's a powerful experience. Yes, and of course, with proper guidance, none of these medicines should be um, embarked upon alone. None of them. It is important to have a trusted guide or a trusted sitter whenever you're engaging with the medicines. And I found one of the things I found that has been super important and super pivotal in my experience is having a good sitter.
Yes.
The
Yes.
role of a good sitter is understated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a good sitter makes all the difference in your experience, like crazy. And I've had my share of sitters. I've had some good, and I've had, I want to say, one that was not so good. But I have been very fortunate to have really great sitters. Um, and I'll mention, I've had a couple of experiences with sitters that were so good. They helped me to go deeper into myself and in my mind than I thought was possible. Um, Tell me, Olathe, your experience with sitters.
My experience with sitters is that it's very important to have a sitter who, so everyone has their own personality or their own inner being. I that just came out. I don't know why. So it's very important to have a sitter who understands and knows how to properly watch the medicine moving through you. So then they know the proper steps to take when you need guidance. It's all about having the right guide to guide you through. And sometimes, if you don't have the right guide who is tentative to your experience, it can go, it's never a bad experience. Okay, I don't want to, it's never a bad experience, but it can be rough. It can be rough. And then sometimes, um as you said, Righteous, there's sitters I've had that have been able to allow me to go into the spaces of my mind that I didn't know that I was able to face, and things that I was able to see and process and put things together. So for me, it definitely is important to have a someone to guide, a guide that resonates with your energy. That's the best way I can put it.
I would definitely agree with that. Um, Having someone that you're able to connect with um, is very, very key. Um, I've had some really profound connections with sitters, and it's almost like, well, with my experience, while being under the medicine, the sitter is also taking the medicine as well.
Yes.
And so I've had a sitter, of course, with ayahuasca and a sitter with psilocybin
Yes.
mushrooms. Um, and with both, I've been able to make connections with the sitter. And it's like while you're on your journey, the sitter is journeying in the sitter's in your journey
With you.
with you.
Yeah. Have you
And
ever tried haritaki?
it's,
No, no.
oh, go ahead.
I was reading, Sheba said, have you tried haritaki as well? What's haritaki?
Oh, haritaki is haritaki is a herb that is very good with nurturing your pineal gland and opening up your third eye.
Okay. I've never tried
Um,
that. Have you tried
and
that?
it's really good for dream work. Really good.
Okay.
Plenty of gifts. How can you be assured that you're choosing the best sitter for you?
Hmm.
You interview them. You can interview them, listen to them. A lot of times when you sign up for a medicine retreat, um, there's like a retreat meetup or like a pre-integration um, meeting that you have that allows you to meet with the sitter, get to know the sitter, their background, and what their process is, and you get a feel for that process and the sitter's energy, and see if just to see if that's for you, because that is important. I've, like I said before, I've had the opportunity to connect um, with sitters and have the most profound journey ever. But I've also had the opportunity to not connect with a sitter and have a journey that was
Mm-hmm.
definitely a journey to learn from. Definitely something to learn from. Um, so it can go either way. It's just really important to uh, make sure that we're accountable for our experiences, and we're aware of what we're going into, and we have that connection with the sitter, because through your journey you may see all kinds of things. All There may be all kinds of hidden um, things that are in your subconscious mind that may come to the forefront. And that's pretty much what Mother Aya does. Is Mother Aya will help you to see what is hidden, and help you to discover why certain repeat patterns exist. Um, yeah, Mother Aya will help you dig deep in that aspect and bring all kinds of things to the forefront. And so, um, if you're not fully aware of what's there, it can be of a really huge benefit to have someone there who is skilled and can help you navigate what can be a challenging situation. Um, the human mind is powerful, and you you never really know um, what has been created in the subconscious mind due to traumas until you come face to face with it. And so, because of all of the things, all of the vices we have that allow us to run away from ourselves, um, we don't get the opportunity to fully see who we are, or we get the opportunity to run from ourselves a lot. Um, and what that does is it pushes who we truly are deep down inside. And what happens is that creates the manifestation of things that we don't truly desire, in the form of situations, people, relationships, habits, um, vices that don't mean us, don't help us in our greatest good. Um, so being able to delve deep and dig those things out and heal them and release them, is important for being an overall healthy and evolved person, spiritually. Um, Olathe, I want to ask you. Um, oh, plenty of gifts. I would have to have a watcher for the sitter. Oh, just something about being vulnerable to a stranger. Huh. I can understand that. I can definitely see that. And it does take a lot of courage. It's not for the faint at heart. It's really not. It takes a lot of courage. Um, it's not easy. How did you conquer that, Olathe?
Uh, which part?
The part of like being vulnerable with the stranger.
Uh, I never, that did not cross my mind. I had, that wasn't even a thought in my mind. For me, once I made um, the decision and the choice that this is what I wanted to do, I was more or less concerned about how my experience would be. I didn't even think about being vulnerable with strangers. To me, they were people who were there who understood my goal. And so I didn't see them as being strangers. I seen them as being people who were on the same path as me and were there to invite me to my new path.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. I I feel the same way. Um, I felt like it was an inner knowing, like on a soul level, as far as how I was able to connect with strangers. I mean, because the ceremonies that I attended, not only was it me and the sitter, but it was me, the sitter, and other strangers. Like my very first ceremony had 20 plus people. Um, and then there was like six sitters. One was a Reiki master. Um, one was a shaman. The other, no, there were three shamans, a Reiki master, um, two facilitators, and someone else. But I I think it's a soul connection that you make. That's why it's very important and highly advised that if it's something that you're interested in, it's people that you trust, people that you've gotten to know, and just really take the time to um, feel them out, build that connection for as long as you can for the time that you have before the actual ceremony, um, because that is a vulnerable place to be in. It is vulnerable. Um, yeah, and that's a perfect way to put that. Is Sister Sheba, I guess you have to be at a level to trust that greater power will watch over you, and the desire to reach a higher level spiritually takes precedence. It does. It does, that calling. They say that when you are thinking about taking ayahuasca, um, you you're being called. So it's not that it's just your decision. It's that it's a bigger calling. You are being called to the medicine. And that's how they typically put it. Um, but yeah, and it is, and it's like for me, once I got that calling, um, I was just excited to go through the process. And the way it was described to me was not pretty. It was not luxurious in any way. Um, but I knew that the potential for the outcome was going to be highly beneficial, and it was extremely necessary. Um, so I was all in. I couldn't wait for every ceremony. I couldn't wait. It was the best thing ever. The protocols the dieta, being able to give your body that break, and having that goal for that goal in mind, and being able to be disciplined enough to extract from the experience um, the highest form of awakening and enlightenment and powerful energy that you could possibly could. Being able to have that opportunity was just, it was phenomenal, and I was truly thankful for it. Um, but yeah, trusting your higher self and having confidence in that and walking in that, it was very important, for making the experience be the best that it could possibly be. Um, let's see. So I've sat with ayahuasca. I sat with hape or rape. Um, I sat with the sananga, and that was something. Uh, I sat with San Pedro, which is my favorite, hands down. Love it. Um, I sat with Bufo. Um, and of course, mushrooms. I've sat with mushrooms. There's another name that they call mushrooms, but I can't think of it right now. But what about you, Olathe? Olathe,
I
I'm sorry.
no problem. I have sat with ayahuasca. I have sat with mushrooms. I have sat with San Pedro, not Bufo. And I like San Pedro as well.
Yeah, mycelium is another name for it, but there's another name like they call them. Ayahuasca is the mother. San Pedro is
The
the father.
father. Mhm.
Um, let's see. What was the other one called? Um, Nino Santos. Mushrooms is Nino Santos. Okay. And then there's peyote. And peyote, I think, is grandfather. I
I
think
think
so.
peyote is grandfather. Yes.
My experience with Bufo is extremely powerful. Um, I was in a pre medicine ceremony integration, like a pre meeting, pre ceremony meeting. And I was telling them about my experience with Bufo, and um, it made people mostly direct all of their focus to that experience. Bufo is, for those that don't know, it's a secretion from a frog, the Bufo alvarius frog, um, and it's it's administered by a shaman in a pipe, and they prepare you. There's a little breath work preparation that you need to do before they give it to you. Um, but once you take it, it is, for me, it provided a feeling of, like, a cosmic feeling of oneness, like it was total bliss. They say that that blissful feeling is what you feel when you're dying, is what we're told. Um, what I felt was, it was just amazing. I could literally feel the connection to everything. I could feel the connection to me and everybody in the room. I felt absolutely weightless. Like there was no worries, no cares, no anything, that there was no ground beneath me. There was nothing above me. I was just a part of the all, and I was just floating in the middle, feeling divine love, oneness, and connection. And it was just the most powerful and amazing feeling. Um, and I had heard that people started taking it like regularly. Like there were some people that were indulging in Bufo like it was marijuana. I was, hmm, that's interesting. How are
Mm.
people doing that? But Olathe, tell me, you want to share any of your experiences that you've had with any of the medicines that were like, wow, this is more than I expected.
So, okay. I did experience Bufo, but I'm going to go back to how you brought up the point about how powerful the mind is. And I'm starting with Bufo and then I'm going to go down the line. So I actually did take Bufo, but I did not feel anything from Bufo. And it wasn't that Bufo was not working on me. I told myself, because of the way Bufo is administered, there was a high level of fear around the way Bufo was administered. So, and I had spoke with my facilitators about it. And so they were like, no, you're going to be okay. Just go, go ahead. And I took it and I felt nothing. So something about the fear I had around the experience completely made me not have an experience at all. So I'm going to need to revisit that around the fear of the way that it was administered based on my childhood trauma, because my mind would not allow me to have the experience. So that was my experience with Bufo. My experience with Nino Santos or mushrooms was very, very profound. In fact, it was the groundbreaking experience of mushrooms which led me to ayahuasca. And what the mushrooms did was I would like to say I had blockages, and the mushrooms went in and completely caused a purge. Like it was like a 4-hour purge where when I came out of the experience, it felt like it had only been an hour. And I was literally purging through tears to the point where I wasn't crying. My soul was crying, and it was just water just pouring, pouring, pouring. And I couldn't do anything about it. And in this experience, my shaman used sound therapy, and he used tuning forks. And so this is where I had a guide or a facilitator who really connected with me, really knew and understood the energy that I was dealing with within me. And he was able to use different hertz of tuning forks and play them at certain times. And each time he would hit each tuning fork, more water would just start pouring out my eyes. So that experience afterwards purged a lot of things within me, and I have not been the same. There's a lot of things I went into that experience with that I came out of and didn't have those things with me anymore. And that's what led me to start sound therapy healing myself, based on how it healed me in my journey. And this was mushrooms. So with ayahuasca, it was similar but different, meaning mushrooms are a little gentler. Like mushrooms go in, they see that you have a problem, they go to the problem. But ayahuasca takes you from the root of the problem and takes you through the different stages. And so when you go through these different stages, there's good stage. It's like a rhythm. You go into a good stage, then it's like, okay, you're here now. I'm finna take you over here. Okay, I'm gonna show you this, and then I'm gonna bring you back to ground. So it's like you go through there. It's stages of it. So both of them are very powerful. But like I said, Mother Ayahuasca is like your mother. Now I done told you, all right, I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna give you these instructions, and I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen if you don't follow these instructions. So when you're going through the experience, it's really you. It's like you're being taught many lessons in one setting.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Jasmine asks, what makes San Pedro stand out? Have you had San Pedro, Olathe?
Yes.
Tell us.
San Pedro is grounding. It's not. Ayahuasca is the mother is like your mother. Your mother is gonna understand your emotions. Your father is gonna tell you, boom, look, this is what it is. Like, I'm not, I'm finna sit you down. I'm gonna give it to you straight, and you gonna sit with it. It's more grounding. It kind of reminds me of happy.
For me, San Pedro has been powerful. Um, I was born a natural extrovert, but over time, trauma started to make me into an introvert. I started to withdraw more and more. I found myself not wanting to speak up as much and having experiences with my having experiencing blockages in my throat chakra. San Pedro is very healing for the throat chakra. Not only that, I the sensations that I felt while on San Pedro was that of I was uninhibited. I was able to talk talk to people without anything blocking me, without having a lack of confidence, um, just being able to connect more. San Pedro helped me to repair a lot of the trauma that was done that started to cause me to go away from connection. Plenty of Gifts asks,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you came out more spiritually and mentally disciplined afterwards? Yes. Yes. I,
Definitely.
yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I felt like after taking the plant medicines, a lot of things started to make sense. Like a lot of trauma and things that I had gone through started to make sense. Like why I had to experience certain things um, to get me to where I am now and to further me on my path to spiritual enlightenment. Um, the medicine helped it to make sense. And it also helped me to see, like, Olathe was describing her experience with Mother Aya and how Mother Aya is not as soft and kind as, say, Nino Santos is. Um, my experience with Mother Aya was um, going down deep and experiencing, okay, what it is that is out of alignment, where is pain stemming from, and seeing what it is, and then having the inner dialogue with myself that sounds like, okay, they hurt me, this hurt me, that hurt me, this is hurt, and because of this hurt, this is what I'm doing. Oh, but it's not my fault. I haven't done anything to anybody. Oh, but yes, I did. Oh, it's these people did this to me. All these things happened to me, and they repeatedly happened to me, and I didn't play any role in it. And here and going along my journey in life and replaying and seeing exactly what role I played and taking responsibility and holding myself accountable for the role that I played in any given circumstance that I was causing myself to suffer for, understanding what it looks like to forgive someone and knowing that not being able to forgive someone means I can't forgive myself, um, because we are all connected, and being able to see exactly how we are all connected and how it is important that if and it goes back to when Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It is that understanding that we are all connected. Bufo helps you see that. Um, and Mother Aya shows you how there's different circumstances when you and that happened in life when you did not embrace that connection, or you didn't seek that connection, or that connection was hurt or disrupted in some way, and it caused a trickle down effect, which led to repeat hurts that need to be healed. Go ahead.
I want to build on that. I was all right. So, because it was a question before that said that you come out more spiritually. So I'm building on that question. Okay. And I'm building on what you just explained as well, Righteous. What I noticed when I came out of the medicine, a lot of the hurt and pain that I felt like from others and things that I felt that people had done to me, it allowed me to start seeing everybody from their perspective. It allowed me, like, even now when someone does something, I'm not even going to say wrong, something that doesn't seem the norm, right? It allows me to sit back and go, okay, I process them and their situation and where they're coming from. So then it allowed me to have a greater understanding of the fact that this person isn't attempting to hurt me. They're only operating from a place of where they know how to operate. And I could not see this before because I was spending so much time like, these people, why is they doing this to me? Why is this happening? Everybody getting on my nerves. But when I came back from the medicine, I didn't process things like that anymore. It gave me it's like I was connected to everybody and I could understand their plight. So, like, for me, I grew up in a household that didn't really have a lot of love. So I thought that my grandmother hated me. But when I came back from the medicine, it showed me how to love on her because she didn't have the capacity based on what she had been through in her life to love me. So it had me change myself so then she would change. So I started to change my approach to her. And the medicine helped me because it helped me, I could feel her differently. It removed some things with it. It's like you have like the channels in your brain. Sometimes your neurons are not able to talk to each other. And so when I came back, oh, and I'm getting chills talking about it. So when I came back, I was able to feel and see and understand her where I couldn't do that before because I had like so many things blocking my thought process. Like you got too many things talking and it like quieted some of that junk. I'm gonna call it junk mail. Like, you got your junk mail with your email and you got something sent in the spam. It came in and it sent that spam out. And then I could receive clear messages from what was going on around me. I know I went all the way deep, but that's really what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
now when I'm walking down the street, when I see people, I don't operate so much from a place of judgment. I operate from a place of understanding, divine
Mm-hmm.
understanding.
Mm-hmm. Divine understanding. That is, yes, spam. Jasmine says spam blocker. Yes, yes. Divine understanding. I couldn't put it better. Sheba says, nice. Would love to hear more about sound therapy. I bought some tuning forks, but have not utilized them yet. And one of the things that was super instrumental in one of my ceremonies was my very first ceremony was the use of drumming and how the shamans use the music and how it seemed that during the ayahuasca ceremony, the drums and the music that they played connected directly to the plant inside my body. And so it was like you could feel the plant responding to the drumming. And then as as the ceremony became intense, or it went through different phases, the shaman or the facilitators would do certain things like shake rattles, um, play certain instruments, sound bowls, um, tuning forks. They would actually do these things, and it all connected with the medicine, and it helped you to further go deeper into your process and move along more smoothly in your process. And so, yeah, all of these things have been very powerful. Olathe, can you tell us about how sound bowls, how you use them now for sound therapy? I know you said previously that um, you had an experience, and that form of therapy was used, and it inspired you. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. Um, I started to do a lot of research on how um, just frequencies alone affect water, right? And so when I started to research that, and I thought to myself, okay, wait a minute. If sound affects water, I mean, if you beat a drum near water, you can see the water vibrate from the drum. Well, we're made of what, 90% water? It's either 80% or 90% water. So then that made the connection with why during my high dosage mushroom experience, the tuning forks were able to penetrate the water, the blocked emotion from water in my body, and push it out through tears from the frequency of the sound. So with my experience, I said all that to say, with my experience with sound bowls, I started to just, for a long time, I always had like one sound bowl, like a brass sound bowl, and I would play it. And I started researching how in Tibet they would use sound bowls to align the chakras. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to see how these crystal sound bowls work, because I'm very deep into crystals. At one point I would wrap crystals. I made crystal bracelets. So I was very heavily in the understanding of crystal energy. And so I said, okay, what could possibly a crystal sound bowl do for me? So I was like, well, I'm going to find out. So I ordered my own set and I brought them home, and I started to play all of the different um, frequencies of these bowls. And I can't think of it right now, but I think it's like so frail. What word am I looking for, Alicia? It's a certain word that they use for sound bowls. Like it's
Solfeggio.
solfeggio. There we go. Solfeggio, like binaural beats. And so what I found was, when I was playing my singing bowls, it started to unconsciously take me into a meditation. And it was a meditation of me focusing on the sound. And while focusing on the sound, it was sending healing frequencies into the water inside my body. So it started to ground me and bring my blood pressure down, because at one point in my life, I was dealing with blood pressure problems due to me having like a high chatter in my brain, right? So when I started playing the singing bowl, I went and had my blood pressure checked the next day. I was intentional with it all. And I played my singing bowls for about an hour. And the next day, my blood pressure was down. Of course, I drink tea and things with it too. But the frequency of the bowls were able to bring me into a balance. And it was all because it put me I had a focal point, and the focal point was sound. And like in church, we wanted to hear the choir because the sound from the drums, the sound from the sopranos, the altos, the bass, that's what spoke to us, grounded us, so we was ready to hear the word.
And it was tribal.
And it
And it
was
was soulful.
tribal. And it was
I'm not,
tribal. So, and you can associate singing bowls when you hit the side of the bowl and it's
Mhm.
ding. You can associate that with the drum. It's just a higher pitch portion, form of a drum.
Like drums. You are absolutely, I get that one. Um, Dwayne Felder says, I wish I would have had someone walk me through my shroom experience. Me microdosing was great, but I moved way too fast and took a hero's journey. And OMG, I was scared the entire time, but I learned. That's right. That's right. You learned and you made it. And you
And
came
you
back.
made it.
Challenging as it might have been.
Made it. That's right
Yes,
up
it
my
did.
alley. I'm a drummer. See, there you go.
Yes, 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 it
You
is.
already tapped in and didn't even you tapped in already.
Family. It is. It is. And that's what's so crazy about that is that it's also meditation. Like it's a form of meditation. And the bowls are like having, I don't know, the feeling for me was like having water wash over my aura, the sound. And so sound bath is exactly what it is to me. Like it's just a whole cleansing, like a auric field cleansing. Um, Plenty of gifts. Thoughts about quantum hypnosis healing therapy.
Mm.
That's a good one. Yeah. We were, you know what? Didn't we talk about that
Yay.
today?
Yes, we
That's
did.
so crazy. We did talk about that today. What were we saying about it? Refresh my memory. We
We
said something
was
about that
saying
today.
that I was looking for someone to take me through a guided hypnosis session.
Sure did. Yes, indeed.
That
Yes,
was it.
indeed. Okay, okay, okay. Huh. That's crazy. Okay. So it's quantum hypnosis healing therapy is really good. And I've heard a lot of positive things about it. Um, it's helped heal a lot of people. It's helped people um, stop repetitive things or recognize or become more aware of what they might be doing repetitively to sabotage their own success or sabotage relationships or sabotage just
Mhm.
developing further in whatever it is their goals are. Hypnosis therapy is really good for that. Um, Other little
Yeah, don't
thoughts
forget to
about it.
get that information to me. I'm
Oh yeah, I still got to
so
get that
yeah,
information to you. I definitely will.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we got
actually
you.
I'm about to I forgot who was asking, but I'm about to actually have that experience so I can come back and talk about that cuz I'm going to be getting into that this weekend.
We definitely can't wait for you to come back and share that information with us. That's gonna be wonderful. That is gonna be wonderful. I have done a little bit of past life regression, a little. Um, but I've been having some really interesting experiences along those lines. Not necessarily, oh, Sheba said the vibrations of the singing bowl, the Om chant, are very healing. Music and sound is so healing. And it is. It is. It is on a soul level. It is. Um, but yeah, I have been doing some past life work, and the things that I've been coming up with has been absolutely crazy. I'm gonna share more about that probably the next time we meet, but
Yeah.
I've been finding a lot. I've been finding a lot, and you just never really know um, how much you are affected in the present from a past life. It's it's so crazy. Oh, thank you, plenty of gifts.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Gratitude. Um, But yeah, the past life regression is something else. Learning about your past lives, and we want to talk about that later on. Past life regression and um, past, present, future existing simultaneously, and what that looks like. Um, Shiva said that cosmic consciousness at work on that hypnosis. Yes, it is. It is. It is. It's going to be a powerful experience. I can't wait for Olathe to come back and tell us about it.
I'm ready. I'm
Yes.
ready because I've been getting snippets of it in dreams. So I
Mm,
really just need to go
mm,
all the way in. So yeah, I'm ready.
mhm. We can't wait. Plenty of Gifts says that's what they used in church.
So
Solfeggio frequencies.
yes.
Catholics started implementing them first.
Yep.
God frequency, where people would be obedient and submit to the offerings.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
It was
That's
all
some
about
game,
the
Plenty of Gifts.
intention.
Thank you. Huh?
Hmm. It was all about the intention.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Uh-huh. Causing people to be more obedient.
See, I could see where they was going with that because they would start playing them while they, they was getting the money going around, get you balanced, feeling good. Like, look here, take it, take all the
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm. Like in those songs that they would play in the church, those they would play those nice emotionally pulling on your emotional energy songs. I give it all
Yeah.
away.
Yes. I give myself away. I give myself away. I give myself away. Yeah. Yeah. And they would play that during, I remember they sure would play that during the offering. I give myself away. Oh, man. Oh,
Right when it's time to take the offering. It's time.
so you can
Give it all
use
away.
me? Oh, nah. I give my money away so you can use it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And to be fair, there are some universal spiritual principles in
It
giving
is.
offerings and things like that that are highly beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to take that aspect away from it, but there are some predatory aspects that go along with that that have been ignored for quite a long time in a lot of different congregations. But
That's right.
get that money up out of people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For the building fund. The
All
building fund.
away. Sheba Righteous and Olathe, you both have brought such enlightenment tonight. Gratitude to the fam as well for great comments and supporting each other. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Gratitude, gratitude. So we're gonna go into grounding and how important it is to ground. Um One of the things that we find in engaging in medicine ceremonies is okay, so you're thinking about a ceremony. You go through the pre-ceremony meetings. You prepare yourself with protocols and dieta and things like that. You go through the ceremony. It's a powerful transformational process. You you engage yourself fully in the ceremony. When it's over, there's integration, um, and there's grounding. Um, let's talk about how important it is to have solid grounding practices, and how important it is to have really good and consistent integration. What you think, Olathe?
Um, I believe that it's very important to um, continue the grounding process. And when I say that, when you go back into the world or to the matrix or whatever you want to call it, it's very important to get a routine in place. that works for you to keep bringing you back to that grounding space. As far as like the diet, now that you understand the art of fasting, you may want to incorporate fasting into your daily practices, like once a month, like take like 3 days to fast and to ground yourself, get some praying and or whatever you meditation in. And at some point, as far as like the meditation and praying, make that a daily thing, right? Because you want to set intentions to keep grounding yourself in the newfound energy that you have invited into your life. So I'm not saying fast every day, but maybe three. This is what I do during the shifts of the moon cycles. So when the moon is shifting to it's Alicia, help me with this, because I like right now, I think tomorrow there's going to be a cycle of the moon shifting. So I'm going to be fasting for 3 days. So I fast for 3 days during 2 times of the month when the moon shifts. So that's just my routine. And it works for me because it brings me back to grounding and balancing myself. And, because sometimes we could get busy, I forget to pray or I forget to meditate. So if you have something set aside where it's like a certain time of the month, like these my 3 days, then I'm going to reground myself. And I also microdose. I microdose sometimes because sometimes it get heavy, okay? Like that same heaviness you walk into with the ceremonies. And sometimes I microdose and it feels like I can clear my head space, and then go back to doing what I need to do. So I definitely am an advocate of microdosing after you go into these spaces and you have ayahuasca or high dosage mushrooms. So that's how I ground. I drink cacao. That's another thing. That's a whole nother conversation. So it's just all different ways to do it. And cacao is another form of plant medicine. So I just try to stay as close to plant medicine as possible. It's worked. It's worked. And I'm all for the things that work.
I hear you. I hear you. And the same here. Plant medicine, like I said, it's a tool. There's many ways to enlightenment. And plant medicine is definitely a tool. There's ways you can, of course, do it without plant medicine, but plant medicine has worked for me.
Okay, she wants
Yeah.
to she was said
Wants
what
to know
type
what.
of fast. Okay, the fast that I do is Aki Awakening. He has a green fast, which consists of, so for 3 days, I drink a juice made of celery, apples, cilantro, parsley, ginger, lemon, and cucumber. So I take all of those, I juice them, and I have that juice for 3 days. Now, sometimes, and I'm being very transparent, sometimes I eat one meal a day. But sometimes, if I'm being very fancy, I won't eat nothing all 3 days and I'll only drink the juice. But I don't do that every time. Sometimes my spirit doesn't tell me to just not eat food, it tells me to eat light and incorporate the green juice. Because over time, your body changes, And so as your body changes, your body may not be able to withstand not having food, depending on what's going on with your body. But then there's sometimes that you can go without having food. So it's 3 days, but that's what I incorporate. And sometimes no food or light food.
That's an excellent fast. Excellent fast. I'm definitely gonna take away from that fast. I'm gonna definitely incorporate some of those things and look at our brother Yaki Awaken, because I know that he has a lot of different fast and health advice that has been beneficial for a lot of people, even a lot of people that I know. have benefited from his advice. So I'm definitely going to take away from that. Um, as far as grounding practices go, for me, just like with the sound baths and how when I'm in a sound bath, I can feel my aura being cleansed. It's the same way I feel with nature and going on hikes.
I forgot about
Um,
that.
that's a really good way. Like if I'm feeling angst or a lot of energy, like I'm taking in a lot of energy, and a lot of I'm taking in so much that I'm not able to just on a regular day release it as quickly as I would need to in order to be evenly killed. I use I go in my backyard barefoot in the grass, um, sitting in the sun, but mostly walking through nature. Walking through nature has been very grounding.
That's right.
What I love about Georgia are the dense forests. It's dense forests everywhere, and so there's beautiful parks, and we have a favorite park that we walk through. It's really beautiful, and when I'm walking through the park, I'm I'm quieting my mind, and I'm allowing the trees to just brush over my aura,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm listening to the birds, and I'm taking in everything that nature, all the music that nature is providing. And it's very powerful. I'm grounding that way.
Yes.
Um, one of the things that Olathe mentioned was that the medicine San Pedro is very grounding. It's very grounding. And it's so grounding that I think that's one of the things that it takes away the false ego or um, the inflated ego. It silences that. And so and in doing so, it allows you to foster greater connections with people that way. And so it's tremendous in grounding, especially if you're a person that you haven't, for whatever reason, you're not able to have access to nature on a regular basis, and you are seeking the experience of plant medicines, then San Pedro is a really good alternative in assisting one in getting through that. Other grounding practices, which is a huge one. This one is huge, and that's breath work.
That's
Breath
right.
work is
That's right.
huge in
Mm-hmm.
grounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
My
Yes.
experience with breath work has been tremendous. Um, breath work is not only grounding, but it also helps to build the energy body and to strengthen your auric field. And so that's a practice, a practice that we've done or we've developed through integration after plant medicine ceremonies. There's that ongoing breath work practice, and we're not taught how important it is to breathe properly and what proper breathing looks like, and the benefits of it, and just how powerful the breath is. But I know that you have some experiences with that. Olathe, can you share?
Yes, I can. So definitely the breath work. It just, I don't even know why I didn't think of it. But the breath work with sound bowl therapy is also, you are incorporating breath work with it, just your body aligns with the breath work with the sound of the bowl. So that's why I didn't even think to bring it up, because it kind of just happens naturally with the sound bath. But one of my experiences with the breath work is the breath work is very grounding. And it after you if you do a breath work session, you start to feel the energy move through your body. Is almost similar to a plant medicine ceremony that you've activated within yourself. So in one of my ceremonies of breath work, I was able to feel like my hands just started vibrating. They started vibrating very fast. And what I was told was when my hands started vibrating, wherever I was feeling some blockages in my body. So let's say if I had a heartbreak or if my hip was bothering me or I had a headache, I was advised to put my hands in those areas. So it's like you then are you're moving the energy through your body yourself with your hands through your breath work. So and that really grounded me as well. So yeah, breath work is definitely, and being out in nature. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Actually, I want to say I want to put fasting behind being out in nature. It's something about that frequency in those trees. It's they talking to you. It's all kind of conversations going on out in nature that you may not be able to hear with these ears, but your body is talking to these to nature. And when you need to be grounded, nature knows exactly what to do. Of whatever bird is flying through knows what song to sing. It's all there. So I would just advise going out into nature as well. Definitely where some big sequoia trees. If you in California or anywhere, get around some sequoia trees, trees in general. That's where the grounding is, those trees. Definitely. And that river water. If you can get near some water, like a river, put your feet in it. That's where the grounding is.
Oh yes, I love it. I don't know if we have any sequoia trees out here.
Do they? What
I
are the
think
trees there?
they got a lot of oak trees
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, but I miss the sequoias. Yeah,
Okay.
and they got a lot of oak and pine out here. But
Okay.
Dwayne Felder says, I'm not sure if this question has been asked, but are y'all able to walk us through these healing journeys? Is there a class coming soon?
Righteous,
Yes,
go
brother.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Go ahead, righteous.
Yes, yes, yes. And it would be an honor to sit. It would be an honor. Um, that is a powerful process. And it's almost like giving birth to a baby because you are definitely brand new afterwards. You are definitely brand new. If the proper care is administered to your journey, it is a rebirthing process. Um, but yeah, sister Olathe, let's see. So knowledge, like one-on-one medicine journey. Y'all can talk us through the journey. I think there will be. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Hey. Hey. This is just the beginning. So we are going somewhere. Um, you have been designated the sitter
All
for
right. All
us.
right. Yeah. Ain't no turning back now, brother. Brother Moore. Ain't no turning back.
Yeah. Um, thank you. Plenty of gifts. Grounding is the best.
It
Grounding
is.
is the best.
Yes.
Grounding is important. When you are firmly grounded, I mean, what is more grounded than a tree? Or what is more grounded than the sequoia, the oak, the pine?
Right.
Um, when you are firmly grounded, you are able to process emotions and process um, things, challenges that come up very easily from being grounded. You are able to have a bird's eye view of problems and situations that occur, and you are unmovable and unshakable. So grounding is key. Is key. A lot of things that happen in our day to day make us ungrounded,
Yes.
even to what and I'm sure a lot of us have heard this before, but wearing shoes keeps us away from
Mm-hmm.
keeps us away from really experiencing the ground,
Sure does.
um, which is what our ancestors did. So, yes, I agree. Grounding is the best. So, with that being said, we are going to close this out. Do you have any last words Olathe, and how to reach you?
I do not have any last words. I'm just I'm filled with gratitude to be a part of the platform. And I could be reached. Oh, I didn't even think. Let's see. I don't know.
On all
TikTok.
platforms. I think with your Instagram, give
I
us your
have
Instagram.
Instagram. I have TikTok. Let's see. My Instagram is Oasis of it. Oh, wait. Can we put? Is it? Oh, it's no. It's not a way to put it up there, huh?
Oh yeah.
So it's Oasis underscore of underscore infinity underscore. That's the Instagram,
Okay,
and
perfect.
my TikTok is. Oh. My TikTok is Olathe Tayen. That's my TikTok.
Perfect.
Let me see. I can. Yeah, here go my TikTok. I don't know if y'all can see it, but there go my TikTok. Yeah, that's my TikTok is where I've been putting most of my recent posts. That's where I've been making most of my sound therapy posts is on TikTok.
Okay. And did we get that TikTok address? What is that?
Oh,
If you put
it's
it,
under Olathe Tayen.
you got it? Okay.
I guess it's at Olathe Tayen.
Okay, perfect. I think we got it out there, minus the
Yep,
spaces.
they got it.
Yep. Perfect. All right. It was a pleasure hanging out with you, Olathe, and all of the people that came in to lend an ear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, we look forward to having further discussions along this topic, amongst others. And I just want to say peace, love, power, and
Yes,
prosperity.
yes.
Have a good night.